Hi guys, new video, simple concept this time. It's about the quick checkmates. So many people ask me, how do we win these games quickly? Because it seems nice to be able to make some early attack, and a lot of people feel that they have an ambitious personality, and so they want to go for the quick kill. And I really appreciate this personality trait. I really do. I possess it to some significant degree myself. But we must understand that there is a cold, hard, logical truth in chess. Every position has a best move, and we cannot circumvent this fact in any way. The truth of the matter is that in order for you to win, your opponent must make a mistake. So if you play somebody who's really good and who are defending soundly, then there will be no quick checkmate. Is it impossible then? Of course not. So what do you do? Well, one thing that you can do is to play very aggressive openings with a lot of tactical tricks, thereby trying to maximize the number of ways your opponent can go wrong. Now, it is important to understand that any such opening will be double-edged, because you get nothing for free in chess. So all the chances that you have will be counterbalanced by your opponent's chances. Now I have an example game here that I just played, and if we look here, I play e4. This is not something I have been doing a lot, but I am starting to get into it. I've been thinking about studying the King's Gambit a little bit, and this begins with e4. Now in this game, my opponent played a rare move on move 2, knight c6. It's called Nimzowitsch defense. Nimzowitsch was a very great so-called hypermodern player. In the 20s, he was one of the best players in the world. Originally, he was from Riga, but he had to flee the Bolshevik revolution, and actually ended up in Denmark, where I live, and he's actually buried not very long from where I live and where I'm recording this right now. He wrote a book called My System, or Mein System in German. He wrote it in German, but he was living in Denmark while he wrote it. It's called Mit System in Danish. And he was the first to really articulate all of these ideas that me and other chess teachers are using. All these terms like a rook on the 7th is good, and many of these positional ideas were first articulated by this great chess thinker. And he also invented many new openings, because he had a very original way of thinking about chess. And this is one of them, and of course the most well-known opening that he invented was the Nimzo Indian. Alright, anyways, at this point I played f4 here, which is a suboptimal move. My opponent has the opportunity to play d5 and equalize the game already, and I'm playing this because this is blitz, 5 minutes or maybe 3 minutes, I can't remember, and I want to play very aggressively, and I want to do as we discussed. I want to maximize my opponent's possibilities to go wrong. He plays e5, which is, now it transposes into so-called knight's defense, I believe, in the King's Indian. No, not the King's Indian, I'm sorry. The King's Gambit. But to be honest, I haven't looked at any theory on any e4 opening. I've been a d4 player all my life. This is so new to me. I developed my knight, and I want to talk a little bit about this position, because as you can see, I have some significant pressure on the center, and how can I be allowed to do this? I am also very close to castling as soon as this bishop is developed. Well, the reason that not everybody plays like this is that there is a significant drawback, and that significant drawback is this little thing, this maneuver with these this open diagonal into my king can be exploited to mount a counterattack by black. That is why many people prefer to play, instead of e4 and then f4, they play with d4 and then c4. So it takes longer to castle this way, but it is safer. My opponent here tries a counter gambit. So he says, I'm not going to take your free pawn, I'm going to offer my own free pawn. I say, right, I will capture the pawn, because when he recaptures with the queen, I am able to put my knight out with tempo, because I am attacking the queen now. queen moves, and I develop my bishop. And you can see my opponent hasn't been able to punish the opportunities and the risks that I've been taking, which means that I just have a very good, very sensible position now. I'm ready to castle, I have many pieces in play, so this should be quite good for me. At this point, my opponent tries to insist on having an equal position and tries to insist on being able to counterattack. So he plays bishop g4 like this. And to be honest, my opponent was quite high rated. I think 1900 or something. And he absolutely should know better. So maybe if you will pause the video, if you'd like to see why this is a mistake. This is the kind of mistake that can give white their initiative and result in a quick checkmate. Do you want to see? Alright. So the trick is that I take here with a check, and actually the best move for my opponent is just to move his king somewhere and not capture my bishop. Now, of course, that is just admitting that you have been playing badly and you will have a significantly worse game, probably even losing. But that was the only chance. He did not want to admit this. He said, oh no, this is good, I will capture this bishop. And here comes the point. I of course just play this check. And what does this do? Well, it opens up the attack on the bishop, because the bishop was pinning the knight to the queen. But if the knight can move away with check, that's important, well, then it's just an unprotected bishop. So now he played a very, should we say, brave move, and probably he was just shaken because we are on move 8, and he clearly was a strong enough player to know that he is completely lost in this position. So he probably wasn't thinking too clearly. Probably he was shaken and psychologically unbalanced and unnerved by this. So he played this move. And when you want to make these quick checkmates early in the game, when you can drag your opponent close, your opponent's king close to your pieces, then that is absolutely super. Because then you will have your army ready to swarm the king, instead of using a lot of moves to get to him. So in this position we just capture the bishop, and he had one final trick, which was to go here, attacking my queen. And maybe he thought that he could use this tempo to get some development, and maybe you could say, okay, I only lost a pawn, but I can make a counterattack against your king or something like this. But do you see how to win this? Well, I've been talking about this before. I've been mentioning this idea of Kasparov's, that a pawn near your opponent's king can be worth as much as a piece. So what you do in this position is simply go check. Now he cannot go back because of the knight. He cannot capture the pawn because of the queen. He cannot capture the knight because of the queen. He cannot go to h5 because of the queen, so he only has this move. And maybe you guys can find mate in one. It's just like this. It's mate. So in this game I played an aggressive opening that allowed my opponent some chances. He played a bad blunder very early in the game, and because I knew about the tactic that I had to use to counter such a move that he made, I was able to drag his king out, and when his king got too close to my pieces, it was all over. So in your own games, try to consider these factors and these ideas if you want to go for early checkmates. Know that you will have to play risky chess in order to do it. Know that your opponent will have to make a mistake. You cannot force your will upon the position. The position is what the position is, no matter what you think. It's like life. You cannot change life. You cannot change the world by only believing. You have to think. You have to understand the landscape you occupy, and then you have to make decisions, and based on those decisions you have to take action, and that action is what can change your world, the world, or win the chess game. I hope you enjoyed this little video. I hope that you will have a wonderful day or a wonderful night of sweet dreams about chess or whatever you like, and I hope that your days will be filled with love